So you want to make more money as a reseller or as someone that flips things for a living or as a side hustle or as a part-time thing, whatever. You want to make more money. This is a tip that I can give you that really worked for me on my journey, and I wish I'd done it sooner, and I wish I'd done it slightly differently. So I'm going to give you the information in this video. The one thing that set me apart when I started buying and selling years ago, it was like something that I did. It was like a bit of a hustle. It was a bit fun. I didn't take it very seriously. In 2020, I made it a priority that I wanted to be a YouTuber again because I went traveling in 2019 and I started a digital nomad channel thing. Didn't really go anywhere. I started on reselling, and that pushed me forward to create better content. Therefore, I improved the knowledge I had as a reseller because I wanted to teach other people. And rather than just being the person that was just doing the thing, I quickly became the teacher. And as probably some of you know, or you don't know, the teacher often learns more than the student because you're actively trying to fill in the gaps of knowledge within your brain as you're trying to teach someone else. So when I make these educational videos for you, I'm actually testing to see who I am, whether who I am I say I am is actually who I am. And I get to fill in the gaps of my knowledge by going, oh, I didn't actually know that if I explain it like that, it won't make sense to someone. Why do I think it to be that way? I get to go in and question things and see whether or not that can give me more value and insight to pass on to the student. That's the first thing. The second thing this will do is build you leverage, because if you look at enough resellers on YouTube, for example, they're building themselves a second income stream. As a reseller, as a business owner, nothing's really guaranteed. You're taking away that guaranteed paycheck approach, and you're going now down the path of trying to make it by yourself and figure your own stuff out, which is great. I salute you for that. But if you can add more revenue sources to something that you're already doing, absolutely go for it. I'll give you a couple of tips on the content in this from what I've learned, because I'm making a whole channel on content creation in and of itself, because I think I've got a lot of value that I can provide in that from years of trial and error, again, similar to this, that I've learned and not learnt with. Now, the top tips I would say to you is, pick a niche. As much as I used to hate that, pick a niche stuff, pick a niche. If you're a reseller, just be a reseller. If you want to go into something else and pivot into another niche, do it, but build a second channel. If you're starting a YouTube channel, look at it like this. When you go on the TV, right, and you change the channel, you're actually completely going into a whole new reality. A television is telling you a vision. Therefore, you are entering a whole different world. When you're watching someone's YouTube channel, unless you're watching an influencer, which is more of like a content pillory approach where they do more than one different thing on a single channel, it's more about them and their life. If you're simply just reselling, people want to see reselling. They don't want to be seeing van life in my case, and they don't want to be seeing travel. Some people will want to see both, but the most guaranteed way to give yourself the easiest path to success without too much hassle and stress and overthinking it all is make one channel focused on the thing that you're doing, and don't pivot too quickly. Stick with it for a long period of time to get good at the reselling, for example, in this case, and to get good at creating content. I pivoted way too quick. I went from one thing to another, to another, to another. Thankfully, doing that, it's given me the skill set to now pass on to you. I'm quite good at creating content. I'm quite good at editing. I'm quite good at buying and selling. I'm good at traveling. I'm good at van life. I'm good at talking and presenting and lots of different things, which has served me well in the long run. But in the short run, it cost me being a broke, starving artist, which I'll go into more of down the line on another channel if you're interested. But for the moment, let's keep it reseller focused. So start a page of some kind. I would say from experience, start a YouTube channel, number one, and then focus on a TikTok, and then build an Instagram off the back of, those two places. So you can just funnel people from YouTube and TikTok over to your Instagram or to a Twitter or something like that. And don't pick more than one platform to start with. Pick one, get really good at it, learn it, basically obsess with it like you would with the buying and selling. Become a master of one. When you have mastered one, meaning you know exactly what you're doing without having to think about it too much, then move on to another platform. I tried to grow a TikTok page, an Instagram page, a YouTube page, a Twitter page, a podcast. I was trying to run 5 different things at 5 different times. And mate, it just burnt me out and I didn't know what I was doing. So I ended up quitting all of them in the end. And now my focus for this channel is, again, it's a channel, it's a page where people want to learn about reselling. Keep it solely reselling focused. But the tip of starting social media alongside your reselling journey means you're basically documenting the things that you're doing. You're having digital proof in form of video, hopefully, if you're doing it that way, of seeing whether or not you're actually doing what you tell yourself, maybe even lying to yourself, of what you're doing. Are you reselling and doing as much product sourcing, as much research, as much work as you actually think you are? If you have video footage of it, you'll get far more insight into your own mind because you're actually actively able to see at the end of a day all of the things that you're doing, wrong or correct. The next thing I would say, if you're starting a page, don't overthink it ever so slightly, like in the slightest, not ever so slightly. Don't overthink it. If you've got a phone, there you go, you're good to go, start. You don't need to invest in a microphone, you don't need to invest in a camera. I'm using a DJI Osmo Pocket 3 at the moment. I was gonna sell this camera and I've decided to keep it because of the content stuff. Only because I like using a camera. The thing is though, wants and needs are two separate things. Like I said in my guide to start YouTube, to start buying and selling. In the beginning, either you have lots of time or lots of money. It's very rare to have both. Otherwise, you probably wouldn't be reselling. You'd probably be on a beach or doing something else. So if you don't have a lot of money starting out, but you have a phone because you're watching this video, you have a way of filming something, even if it's not 1080p, any way of filming something, focus on good quality lighting. And I'm about to show you a very, very quick couple of tips. This makes the video so much better. Produce content with the stuff that you already have and prioritize the consistency of the same thing, learning about what the audience want to see and what you can produce lots of content around that doesn't require you to exert huge amounts of force and energy. When I started buying and selling, making content around it, I did loads of day in the life videos of vlogging everything, and no one knew who I was. No one really cared about me. They just cared about the resell and they wanted to see that. If I'd taken myself out of the equation and simply just led with the reselling, taking all of the talking to the camera shots, trying to be all about me on the camera and trying to be an influencer, I would have made it much better and I'd have made far more money. The way I would do it if I was creating a reselling channel myself is go and watch loads of other reselling channels, sort their videos by the most popular ones and just mimic those, as long as you have the information to back that up and you can provide that kind of value. And add your own sort of unique flair to it, have fun with it. But if you solely want to make money, get the distinction very clearly early on about being a creative or being a business owner. You can be both, but I would say from experience, I'm 26 now, I started this when I was like 18, 19, and I've been doing content for a long, long time, failed and made some success along the way, is don't try and monetize your passions. That's the biggest lie most YouTubers, creators tell you. They don't know how they achieved what they achieved. A lot of the time they tell you what they think they did when they don't know what they did. They just got lucky, or they figured something out that they don't actually realize they've figured out. They're doing the thing. They're not doing what they're telling you to do. They're doing something else. So maybe sort the money out first and then go down the creative pursuit. But if you're not concerned about money, do it all. Have fun. Like I said in the reselling guide or buying and selling guide, do it all. Wear all the different hats. Have loads of fun. Try loads of different things. See what works. See what doesn't work. Try different social medias. Do it all. I did podcasting, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, faceless accounts. I've tried everything. And the one thing that I found that is great for longevity is not passive income, because I don't think that really exists, but building a YouTube channel that still makes me money to this day. My other account, at the Lars Born, it's called now, one of my videos is like nearly, I think it's on 200,000 views now. The top 10, the video that's on this account, top 10 or 5 items to buy and sell with, to buy and sell for huge profit. That video to this date earned me like £1,500. If I can get my phone and edit this bit, I will show you to see that it's real. I'm not like, but there's my account. I'll refresh it for you. Like, I'm not making this up. I don't like people that make stuff up online. If we go to my analytics, I've taken all my videos down now, so there's not a lot you're going to see here. But if I go to content, or revenue, sorry, 30p in the last few days, because I've obviously not posted any videos. And then if we go down to my best ever video, I don't know how you'd even sort it actually. Maybe on here. Can I click on this? 28 days. If we just go to lifetime, it will sort by my best videos. That video to date has made £1,413.65 with 182,000 views, 11.6k of watch time, 2.1 thousand subscribers, it's rounded it off to £1,500. Obviously, you can just see here, look. Oh, estimated revenue, 1521.87. £1,500 that video's made. And then if I'd made this graph slightly better, as you can see, there's a lot of audience retention that's lost. That should be a bit more of a flatter graph. I probably would have made more out of it. So as you can see, that's quite a healthy return. £1,500 for about 4 hours of work. And it's paid me about £50 to £60 on average every month for the last 3 to 4 years since ever I made that video. So I think I made that back in lockdown. That's a really good return. That's low in comparison to a lot of other bigger YouTubers. That's just one video that really blew up. Compared to the vlogging videos, I probably should have shown you some other examples actually. Let me just pull one up, because I know some of you will be fascinated by this, because you're like, oh, YouTube people don't tell the truth and stuff. Let me see if I can find... Okay, so the next one, how I made £1,000. That's not a vlog one. Let me just find a vlog one. Here we go. 1,200 hours of watch time, 246 subscribers it gained me, and it made £111.55. If we go over to the revenue tab, it will tell me about my CPM and RPM and all of that. And I can make information on this for you if you want it. So the revenue per mil, which is what I get paid per 1,000 views, is £9.16, which is actually really quite high. And the CPM on that video is £16.58. Now that's a really good earner, but the amount of effort it took to make that video, and I obviously had to go out, I had to document everything and all the stuff like that. And to give you ideas, like my van life videos, this was a lot easier to make. It got 20,800 views and it made me £135. But for every 1,000 views, I get £6.49 and £11.90. So that's what the advertisers will pay. That's what I get paid per 1,000 views. Now, I'm not earning from any of these videos anymore because I took them all off my main channel. I didn't want this to become a what I made on YouTube channel, but I know there's so many gatekeepers out there and so many people like, you know, when they make these videos and they cover up how much they've made and you're literally just clicking on the video because you want to see how much they're earning. It does your head in. It does my head in too. So I'm like, I just want you to see it. Don't do it for the money. Do it for the growth that will directly impact how much you actually make as a reseller, because you'll have almost like a camera crew following you every single day, teaching you other skills, how to talk to a camera, how to become more confident, because you're actively putting yourself in a kind of fight or flight, setting where you're not really too comfortable doing it to start with, and you're learning these skills. You're learning presentation skills, you're learning editing, you're learning the internet, you're learning psychology. You're learning how to build a digital asset, because essentially a YouTube channel, a TikTok page, or some form of online social media presence will open doors for you. I've made some of my best friends through social media. Like I'm in a couple of WhatsApp groups from van lifers that I've met through social media, which have become some of my long life friends. I've had sponsorship opportunities. I've been given free things. I've been given free trips. I got to take a Land Rover Defender to Scotland. I think this is a couple of years ago now because of my TikTok page. A company called Wild Tracks were like, yeah, take out one of our Landies. I just had to film a few videos for them, obviously in exchange for that free trip, which was excellent. I had to pay for the fuel, which was great. I've had loads of cool little things like that over the years. And had I been taken a more of a business approach to what I was doing through social media whilst having fun, I would have probably made more money, had more impact, enjoyed the journey that little bit more than struggling and suffering all of the time. But I wouldn't have access to the person I am today, if that makes sense, about all the struggles and difficulties I went through as an individual. However, if I was going to do it all over again, when I started reselling, I would only keep reselling content on that page. Rather than trying to build a personal brand off of reselling, I would make a channel dedicated to, in this case, Lars Born Hustle, Lars Born Reselling, maybe adding a few more things into those videos if people request it in the audience and they want to get to know you. But you could differentiate the two and guarantee an evergreen growth path. This channel, rather than selling it, the information in the form of a course or an ebook, I'm just going to leave it up on YouTube. And these videos, I'm hoping when they take off, will continue paying me down the line in years to come, so that I can do this work once. And rather than trying to coach one person on a one-on-one, hopefully through the comment section, through the data from YouTube, and through, engaging with people from this channel, I can learn what people need to learn about so I can help them better. I can get better at coaching through a video experience, so I don't have to actively be coaching each individual person. My hourly rate is at the moment 0 because I'm producing all of this content with nothing back, but it will be on an exponential level. If I'm putting in all this work now to grow this channel and to get it to a certain point where the videos will market themselves and take off, I don't have to do the same level of work. And rather than producing as much content, there'll be a big catalog of videos on this channel where people can watch it, they can learn from it, and they can share it with their friends. They can, do whatever they want with it, learn from it and stuff. And I can continue getting paid for the work that I did years ago, similar to that video that I produced on my other account. Whereas the highest earner by a mile, as you can see, that's pretty much carried my YouTube income, that one video that made £1,500. To some of you, that's life-changing money right now. That took 3 years to obviously accrue that level of wealth from that video. Obviously, I'm saying wealth like it's a lot, but that's a lot of money from something that I did from nothing. Like I filmed it on a phone as well in my bedroom when I was quite a lot younger. So all I'm saying is, if you document the journey, it will help you massively. It will give you that little bit of motivation and dedication, and knowing that you're building something to some degree bigger than yourself, it will give you a lot more fulfillment with what you're doing. If you get frustrated about the niche thing, I hear you. I'm the first person to have battled with that problem for 5-6 years until I was like, do you know what? I just don't have a niche. Then I found people that were like, oh, just you be the niche. You are as the creator are a niche, which I think is in of itself a paradox. Is basically that is a niche in and of itself. The fact that they are creating videos around don't have a niche, that's a niche. So it's all niche based. Why do you watch the things that you watch? Why do you watch the people that you watch? Think like a producer rather than a consumer. Rather than consuming all of this content all of the time and taking it all in, how can you start producing with ideas and the things that you pick up from other people. Like, I watch cooking channels on certain things. I've taken aspects of their videos, plugged them into my TikToks. I've watched travel people, taken aspects of their videos, plugged them into my TikToks. Certain editors I've learned from, different creators. I've watched loads of different things, and it's almost like taking a little bit of the piece from each puzzle and plugging it into your own to make something uniquely yourself. But like I said, if I was to do it differently, I would create multiple pages for different things, because if you're like me, you'd probably get bored of doing the same thing over and over again. And I know that this isn't going to last forever, but I have to try and test this. So before I give up on something like a channel like this, where a lot of people will, go into it with, can I create 100 videos around a topic? If I can't, is it really worth doing in the first place? Is there demand for the content that I'm looking to create in the reseller space? Obviously, there clearly is. Lots of people want to see it. What content performs the best? What content do people want to see? As you're researching for your reselling business, can you research the ideas for the content? Go onto other resellers' pages, read through their comments. What are people struggling with? What do they need help with? What kind of content do those people want to see that you actually want to produce? If they all say vlogs, and you're just going, I don't want to do vlogs because I've got to put myself out there, it's too much work, blah, blah, blah. Find other audiences with other problems in mind that you can cater to. I don't want to make this like all about buying and selling and going on the road and doing all the flips now. I may do the odd one to help out my channel and to help out people on here, but I don't want to make that my whole brand, because it's so much work for very little return. When I could just sit here and, on my couch, on my sofa in the living room. This took me 5 minutes to write the overall version bullet points for the outline of this video. Pick up the camera, record, take me about 10-15 minutes to edit. I'm not putting any filters on it. I'm not putting any animations on the screen. Upload it and it's done. It's going to be half an hour's worth of work, and this could be, thousands and thousands and thousands of views. It could be thousands of subscribers, and I can take those subscribers from this channel that are interested in reselling or buying and selling, that may go, do you know what? You're really good at this as well. Can you make a channel on that? And I'll do that again. And I'll just keep taking that strategy and pushing it across. So don't overcomplicate the simple. Don't sleep on it. Rather than trying to watch other YouTubers and figure out how they've done it from watching their videos on how they've made it as a YouTuber, just look at what's working. Think of your videos as a product that you're selling. If you're not selling anything in the description, if you're not selling a service or a product of your very own, then the videos become the product rather than the distribution. Social media is a social network of distribution. You're distributing ideas, entertainment, or what's the other one? Entertain, educate, or inspire, or you're inspiring people. Try and hit one, if not all three of those in a video. And like I said earlier, if you're not selling, say, info products, digital products, courses, ebooks, anything like that, and you're not selling any physical products, then your content becomes the product. The people are paying in the form of attention, and the brands are paying you the money. Like the YouTube AdSense platform, like I've showed you earlier, they'll pay you. You can make money from affiliate marketing. But the main thing you're also doing is building social leverage that will unlock you the ability to meet with like-minded people, network with other people. It's building a like-minded tribe of people that like you as an individual and what you're talking about. If you go down the personal brand approach, which I would highly recommend you do, which I'm also doing. But if you have a skill set on something and you're like, I don't want to sell a course, I don't want to do this, build a digital page, try and build it with a minimum of 100 ideas in mind. Or how can you tell the same idea from 100 different ways so that people can get the overall message from what you're trying to get across? Be entertaining, be engaging, be good at speaking to the camera. And the more you do something, the better you get at it. And from my experience as a YouTuber, as a TikToker, as doing live streaming and all these things, the thing that's worked for me is show up every day. It doesn't really matter how many times you post as long as the content's good. The content gets better by producing more of it, not by going, how can I make better content? How can I make better content? Do more and learn more. The whole practice of the craft is in the work. The results have come from the pudding of whatever. I'm butchering this completely now. Just do the work. I'm going to make one video every single day, even if it's not on every single channel, but I'll make one video every day to get better at my skills, to get over myself even quicker. Any limiting beliefs that I have around not being good enough or this or that or stuff, I just want to get it right out there straight away to get back into that whole YouTuber mentality. And the last thing I want to say is, if you do this, don't let the views, the likes, the comments, the hate get to you, because you're still trying to resell. That's your main bread and butter. That's the reason you're starting. This is solely to document what you're already doing. People have a lot to tell you about what you're doing and how you're living your life and the choices you're making. If they are, disagreeing with you or shitting on you or anything like that, Don't feel sorry for them per se, but just understand that they have nothing better to do. Their life must be so empty, so boring, so dull that they've got enough time to leave you some terrible comment about what you're doing, especially if they're older. The amount of older people that have shat on a young entrepreneur is unbelievable just because they didn't have the balls to go do it. So if you're one of those people that's willing to put their money where their mouth is and go and do it, don't let those people tear you down by all means. And don't be naive. Don't try and do the whole treat people kind because that annoys them more. Don't buy into all that psychology. Keep doing your thing. Stay in your lane. Produce the content for the people that want to see the content. And it will really improve so much of the business, and you'll get so much better at reselling because you'll have to learn more because you'll want to be better for the presentation aspect of it. And obviously go subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.